in Kentucky for a spot in the Sweet 16. John Calipari punched his ticket to the Sweet 16 on Saturday. His former team, Kentucky, trying to do it under Mark Pope. I am contractually bound to still say Coach Cal's name over Kentucky highlights. The deal runs in 2 years. Late first, Kylan Boswell shows off the handle, crosses over. Amari Williams lays it in. The Illini fighting down 6. Started slow, but chipping back into this one. Boswell had 10 points in the first half. 3 minutes left in the first half. Lamont Butler drills the triple. Wildcats, Matt, just seems so measured in everything they did here.
They do, and that shoulder sling that Butler continues to wear, it just looks so laborious and cumbersome, but he gets it done. Was a key player here, along with Amari Williams on Sunday, Joe.
Yeah, flexing on everybody despite that sling. Wildcats up just 5 at the break, led by as many as 12. But the same story coming out of half. Kentucky all over it. At the rack, two-handed slam. Williams steps off the steal. One of 14 on the day here for the Wildcats. Tim Doyle, defense to offense. This was the full complement from the Cats.
Oh, no doubt about it. I love the way they operated offensively. This Kobe Brea, he was sensational. They only had 5 turnovers on the day. Brea, nice little mid-range, too easy.
Creating off the dribble. Averages 11.5 throughout the season. Went for a career high 23. Brea coming up in the biggest spot imaginable. Under 5 to play. Wildcats missing a layup. Yakachonis grabs the rebound but gets his pocket pick, just adding to that steal total. Wildcats aggressive at the point of attack here. Kentucky goes on to win this one 84-75 as they advance to their first Sweet 16 since 2019. They also improve to a perfect 5-0 over the Illini in their tournament history. Illinois, meantime, it's their 6th loss in their last 7 games in the round of 32. There seems to be a ceiling here as they reach but cannot get to that second round, to that second weekend as they suffer the loss in the second round to Kentucky. Let's take you back out to the stadium where they're sounding off after the win.
Coach, Kobe, congratulations. You told me these guys teach you so much. What'd you learn about them tonight, Coach?
Well, I learned that they are willing to take everything that they've talked to each other about and be present in the moment and step up in big moments. This Kobe Brea was ridiculous tonight, as well as Lamont Butler, a bunch of our guys, but they came in with all the pressure in the world that March Madness is, and man, did they ring the bell.
I mean, I marvel at you. From wheelchair bound to Sweet 16, you're shaking your head. What has this journey been like for you?
It's unbelievable what God does, man. God, he has a plan for this team. He has a plan for me. He has a plan for Coach. He has a plan for this team, and he's going to keep doing special things. But all the credit to my teammates, man. They played a hell of a game. Coach and staff, quick turnaround, and we was able to do something special.
I mean, all the Blue Bloods wanted you. Why Kentucky?
Because of this man right here.
Because of Coach, why?
Well, first, man, it's the University of Kentucky.
He knew I needed the most help.
Nah, it's the University of Kentucky, man. BBN, they love us. They've been great to us. Coach, man, he trusts me. He believes in me. The rest of my team, I have great people around me, man. I can't complain.
Tennessee, next. You've beaten them twice. How do you make it 3 times?
They're an unbelievable team, man. Coach Barnes does a great job. They're tough as nails. And so it's going to be exactly what every game is. It's just going to be guts of these guys, what they're doing on the court.
We look forward to it. Congratulations, guys.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. So Brea walks away with a team high 23, a career high as well. But you look at this box score, and it's a Kentucky team that'll get you in one of many ways. There's some stat-stuffing performances across it, but you're only as good as your next one. Kentucky, Tennessee, going head-to-head Friday in Indy. Kentucky, again, 2-0 against Tennessee this season. It's just the second ever Sweet 16 matchup between SEC teams, joining Alabama, Kentucky, back in '86.
Amari Williams.
From Nottingham, England.
From Nottingham, England.
Yeah, I guess I was picked for the opening statement. I just wanted to say shout out to my teammates, the coaching staff. You know, we just spoke about not many people thought was going to be here at the start of the year, and just everything we've been through, the adversity, and you know, it's kind of paid off and was all together today, and it kind of showed. And I just want to say shout out to guys like Jackson Robinson and Kurt Chrisser, and just all the injured guys, even Lamont here too. Like, it's tough, you know, not being able to play 100%, not being able to, you know, just be on the court at all. But you know, the love they showed to us and the togetherness and just, you know, them having a smile on our face helped a lot tonight too. So I just want to say shout out to them. I guess we're opening up for questions too.
You don't need me here. He's got it.
That was excellent. Future broadcasting right there.
Appreciate it.
Questions for the Kentucky student athletes, please. And then we'll have, after they leave, we'll have questions for Coach Pope.
Yeah, Daryl Bird with the Cats Paws in Lexington. For all three players, actually, you're right, Amari. People kept thinking there's too many injuries they can't keep overcoming. This might be where it all ends. Why didn't that happen? How do you guys keep doing this?
You want to go first? I just want to say it's just the love we have for each other. I feel like everybody would, just wanted to be on the court, just fight for one another, and it showed tonight. We don't really worry about anything else, just the people we have in our circle, and that's the way it's been the whole season, and that's what's got us to this point. So.
Yeah, definitely echo that. But also I feel like we got a lot of underdogs on this team. I feel like a lot of people have been doubted, just throughout life. Growing up in basketball, not a lot of us were highly recruited and nothing like that. So for us to be on this stage, we wanted to seize the opportunity and just be great out there.
Yeah, I agree with them, and I continue to say, I feel like God really has a plan for this team. Like, we've gone through a lot this year. We faced a lot of, triumphs, and just for us to be here, like a lot of people, like y'all said, like a lot of people think we wasn't going to be able to be here, and so it's just a testament to, what God has done for us.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. Y'all are going to be playing Tennessee, to any of y'all are going to be playing Tennessee next. There are a bunch of other SEC teams that are at this stage as well. Just playing in that conference, how much did it help you these last few days, what you'd already seen during the regular season conference competition?
Yeah, we're just battle tested, throughout this whole, conference. Conference was a beast. We had a lot of good teams that we played, but, we stayed resilient, stayed together, and, just showed today. Everybody was playing with love and passion for one another, and, we can't focus about anything but, the next game, and, we just have a lot of love, and we're going to win that game.
Right here, Adam Rittenberg with ESPN for Lamont and Kobe. How much do you think your experience level helped in a game like this? Obviously, Yakachona is very talented, but also young. You two have obviously played a lot.
Yeah, I think experience is everything, especially when it comes to, college basketball. Just being able to have a couple years under your belt and, not be too fazed by the moment. It kind of feels like we've been here before, so it doesn't feel too new. We've been through a lot. This upcoming game, it's going to be new for me, but I'm super excited, just to be a part of something special. So, but definitely, that's how I feel.
Yeah. Experience is big, but, in a tournament like this, it don't matter. You just got to go out there and play your hardest, play your best, listen to the scout, execute the scout, and, do the things that we've been doing all year to win games. So, regardless of experience, and now we went out there and just play hard.
Hey, Stephen Cohn, SB Nation. Your calling card isn't always forcing turnovers, 8 turnovers in the first 12 minutes. Kind of what was the strategy behind that? Obviously, put Illinois out of a rhythm in the first half. Any of you, sorry.
We have Lamont Butler as the head of the defense, so I feel like for any team, when you see him pick you up, it kind of, has to put something in your stomach, some nerves or something. So stop. Okay. It makes you a little nervous. Jesus Christ. Our team is mature, but not all the time, as you can see. But yeah, so he's the head of the snake for us, and just we see how hard he goes, and it makes us want to go just as hard, and so he sets the tone for us.
Lee K. Howard, WKYT in Lexington. For any of the players, you guys, there was a CBS Sports stat that you guys are the first Sweet 16 team to return no points from last year to make it to the Sweet 16. What does that say about how quickly you guys gelled and came together and made this run?
Like you said, it's just, we just kind of fight for one another, and we play together basketball. I feel like we gelled a lot throughout the year, even from the first time we all seen each other in June. So just knowing that and just knowing how together we are, that's really the reason why we made that possible. So.
Gentlemen, this was good stuff from the Kentucky Wildcats, and I'm taken to the first 5 minutes of each one of these halves. You add up those 10 in total, Matt, and you got an Illinois team that was outscored by 19 points. What did you make of those opening arguments, both game and half?
Yeah, I like the way you put that with the opening arguments. I thought that was key for Kentucky in general. I can guarantee you, if you could beam into the Kentucky scouting report when the coaches were talking to the players earlier today and yesterday, they would have been emphasizing specifically getting off to good starts in the game and coming out of the break. That's exactly what happened here. Kentucky has been a team that has been a bit streaky the entire season, has been prone to defensive lapses. Didn't really allow for that to happen here today. Now, Illinois' issues, we can get to that in just a second, but I thought it was so impressive to see Kobe Bryant is shooting well. In fact, he actually had mentioned going into this game, he doesn't really like the ball that's being used. That's becoming more and more of a talking point, that Wilson ball. You know, it's a little bit bouncier, a little bit more inflated. Hey, it didn't matter here. 23 points, 10 of 16 overall. He played well. Otega Owe again. I mean, he's been a 15-point machine so far this season, Tim. So really good games for Kentucky. We can dive more into the game, but I do want to mention this. Mark Pope gets Kentucky to the Sweet 16 without having anyone come back from a season ago that did anything, and didn't have Jackson Robinson, didn't have Kirk Carissa, got a 3 seed. Really, really impressive stuff by him in year one. This is outshooting expectations in Lexington.
Totally true. You remember when they hired him? Everyone was like, oh, this is the best we could do? Mark Pope?
Remember, I broke the news and my mentions were melting down because Kentucky fans couldn't believe that they had to settle on Mark Pope. I remember it vividly.
Oh, man.
And then they turned it in 24 hours, and he had a hero's welcome at Rupp Arena, and now look what's happened. Okay.
You know what he did? He leaned into the legacy, the history of Kentucky, and then I love his sauce. He's got the good sauce. He went and got older, experienced guys that had proven track records at lesser schools. There's no other way to say it. Lamont Butler, right? San Diego State went to a Final Four, but San Diego State's not a blue blood. And in this game, he played really well. He had 14 points on only 5 shots. After game number 1, you weren't really sure how he was going to play. Their big guy, Amari Williams, almost had a triple-double in this game. And he's such a great passer. Brea has actually been better in a Kentucky uniform than he has been in a Dayton uniform. I have Kentucky go to the Final Four. All right, now they're going to have to go up against Tennessee and beat them 3 times in one season. We're going to talk about that. But here's why I like Kentucky. Game 1 against Troy, this is what I saw. They embody the word team all season long. 6 guys averaged double figures. They made 28 field goals against Troy, 23 assists. Tonight against Illinois, 32 main field goals, 18 assists. They have assisted on almost 70% of their baskets in the NCAA tournament. So that shows me a team that has chemistry, connectivity, and experience. That's why I hadn't gone to the Final Four. Hats off to Mark Pope. He got dissed when he got hired. Now he's getting loved in the Sweet 16.
Matt Norlander is going to be scrolling back to that news here, some of you in his mentions. Kentucky, the only team to reach a Sweet 16 in the last 20 years with 0 points combined from players that were on the roster a year before. I know that's a short list.
Phenomenal, though. That's incredible. And Mark Pope, John Calipari, Kevin Young, and Dusty May, what do they all have in common? They're all first-year coaches at schools. All of those schools either didn't win a tournament game last year or didn't make the tournament period. That's 25% of the Sweet 16 field. And, of course, the Calipari, Pope, and Kevin Young thing is connected because Cal leaves Kentucky for Arkansas, which opens up Pope to leave BYU for Kentucky, and lets Kevin Young get to BYU. It's fascinating to see how it's all played out there, and yeah, good stories in college hoops.
First-year coaches, first-year players, as all the pieces continue to move in this landscape, but we're enjoying what we're being given right now. You mentioned those 18 assists relative to the shot-making, TD, but 18 assists relative to 14 steals. That's going to get the job done as well. Defensively, how impressed were you by Kentucky?
Yeah, they just look like they're locked in. And it's such an advantage, Joe, when you have a team that everyone understands their roles. There are some teams this year, not going to name names, Kansas State, never figured out their roles the entire season. Paid a lot of money, spent a lot of money in NIL. No one understood what they were supposed to do. This Kentucky team understands what they're supposed to do. To your point with the steals and the connectivity on the defensive end, I'm an offensive guy, so I'm going to go back to offensive numbers. 5! They had 5 turnovers today. They've only had 15 turnovers to start this tournament. Now, I get it. They're not playing Houston and St. John's, but against Troy and Illinois, they're really getting whatever shots they want. And to open up the second half, they made 10 of their first 11. They just look like they're flowing. My biggest question mark with Kentucky, Matt, was going to be Lamont Butler. I know he's not at 100%, but extremely efficient today. If he's not playing at a high level, I believe they can't go to a Final Four. But they already beat Tennessee this year once without him.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I would always rather take the team that's won the 2 other games.
Yeah, I agree with that. On the Illinois side, guys, I can almost guarantee you, again, if we go into the scouting situation with Kentucky and its coaches, they might have been saying, don't let this guy beat us and don't let this guy beat us. And those guys would have been Will Riley, who was on fire before tonight, and Kasper Siakachonis, who may well wind up being a top 10 pick. Siakachonis was okay. Instead, it was Kylan Boswell. Make someone else beat you. Boswell had himself a nice game, but Illinois was just it was a little bit skittish across the board. This is the kind of game Kentucky wants to win. This is the score. You know, it wants we get in the 80s, they get in the 70s. That is what they are most comfortable doing. And you see Illinois here. I saw this team in person a year ago. It lost to UConn in the Elite Eight and was on the wrong end of a 30-0 run in the Elite Eight, which I think we will never, ever see again that deep into the tournament. But the program has, you know, it's had its bumps. It's big picture. Illinois finds itself nationally under Brad Underwood, where it is operating as a top 25 program. That's not arguable. It is operating as a top 3/4 Big Ten program over the past 70 years. That's not arguable. Not quite getting enough success in the tournament, but I do want to remind college basketball fans watching and Illinois fans watching, I know you're so heavily invested in this team, and Underwood has you in good spots. You were the 6th seed in the spot. Kentucky was the 3. So you actually did play up to your seed expectation. I understand full well you want to get into the tournament with a 1, 2, or 3 next to your name and not a 5, 6, or 7. I get all that. It's a bitter pill. This matchup was the kind of one where if you told me Illinois won 84-75 instead of Kentucky, I would have believed you. But good scouting by Kentucky. Illinois just didn't have the offensive distribution, and Kentucky just kept it in third gear for most of the night. Tim.
Are you talking about a school and its fans having unrealistic expectations? Man, I never heard that in college sports before. What Brad Underwood has done, got him a #1 seed, perennial in the top 25, winning games consistently in the dance. What do you want, Illinois?
Yeah.
Like, you were a #1 seed. Most recently, you've had a ton of NBA guys go through there since Brad Underwood has got there. I think he's doing the most he could possibly do at Illinois. I know their fans think that they should be perennial Final Four teams, but the guy's done an outstanding job. He's been a fantastic hire.
If he could eventually get them there, I want to be clear about this. Like, he's good enough to get Illinois to coach him, to recruit him. Like, if you told me that Illinois, you know, next year was a 2 or 3 seed and had a better team, I would believe you, but it just hasn't happened here. And also, only forced 5 turnovers with Kentucky. That was a huge issue.
The Illini and their fan base have plenty of time to mull future expectations. We got to set expectation for this primetime matchup we've got between 2 SEC teams. It's just the second time in a long time that we have 2 SEC teams meeting in a Sweet 16 round. It's going to be an exciting one between these two, and we've seen them twice before, alluded to already. Tennessee has lost to Kentucky twice this year. It came in a 2-week span, Matt Norlander. How different are these teams from the ones that we saw in that short period of time?
I mean, not all that different. Those 2 wins came by a combined 14 points overall. Listen to me. I know it gets said, but it is not true. There's actually been data and research done on this by Ken Pomeroy, amongst others. It is not hard to beat a team. Okay, look at Tim Doyle. It is not hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. If you do it 2 times, you could be just as likely to do it a 3rd time, especially
like to say.
when that 3rd time is on a neutral floor. Also, keep in mind, this game will be in Indianapolis, and Kentucky and Tennessee's fans are going to be able to travel there in droves. I give Kentucky fans an edge there to get more into the building than Tennessee. Tennessee's a really, really good team. It's the better team than Kentucky. It could win the game. It might well be favored in the game.
Better team. Better team. They played twice.
Tennessee still rates better as Kentucky.
I'm going to, full disclosure here.
Yeah, you got Kentucky in the Final Four.
When I broke this bracket down, my first thought is I wrote Tennessee. And then I scratched it out. Not only did I have Kentucky beating, I have Kentucky beating Houston.
Yeah,
so
we agree, by the way. We both, when on our Selection Sunday show here on HQ, Tim and I both, in this specific matchup, a week ago, took Kentucky to beat Tennessee. I just want to be clear about this. Tennessee rates as the better team, but I actually like this matchup for Kentucky, and I have them winning.
Yeah, but it's going to be a great game. This is like ultimate coin flip. Yeah. What side are you on? Do you want the team that's won twice, or you like the team that hasn't won twice, revenge?
Past success does not indicate future success. We'll see what it looks like. You put 2 teams on a court in this sort of scenario with the talent level that both of these teams possess, and it's going to be same as this one. Who wins the turnovers? Who shoots a better percentage? Who can make a couple threes? Because we've seen the 3-point shooting slow down over the last couple days. If you're asking me for a pick on these two, Tennessee rates a little higher, you said?
Rates a little higher.
This is going to be a great game.
And Kentucky's got a great defensive point guard in Lamont Butler, but Zakai Ziegler's just as good, if not better.
I'll say this. The expectation has been met and exceeded for Kentucky. Maybe Tennessee has a little higher expectation for this team this year.
That's
I'm going to give
correct.
the Vols a little edge.
You're totally right on that. Tennessee fans, they want to see Rick Barnes get to a Final Four. Lost to Purdue a year ago in the Elite Eight as a 2 seed. They're back on the 2 line. They want to see Barnes break on through. Barnes, tremendous career, has only made the Final Four once. That was back in 2003.
That is can't-miss stuff coming our way on Friday. Gentlemen, great work as always. Matt Norlander and Tim Doyle here to break this one down and all future matchups. You know, their past success does indicate future outcome. Because it's what they do. Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, continuing to keep that nose out in front. Now, a dead heat with the Tar Heels and an opportunity to go one further, as it's that well-known logo again in the Sweet 16.